today. It's Father's Day. It's a fantastic day to spend the day with the family and kids. Come out and burn up the credit card.
We're bringing back all the stuff you did.
Yeah.
It's a beautiful one there with the dealer team that you did the whole 16 mil thing. Yeah. We found it. Holland Bond gave it to us.
Gosh.
It's on there, mate, and it's fantastic.
Oh, that's great, because we're doing a thing called the Lost Peter Brock tapes, and they were all the ones that I did for Water Sports that I own, and all the Masters of Motorsport stuff that I still own.
They lost them all.
Man Champ for short. There have been 5 races in all. We've won 3. It hasn't been easy. Our car was brand new, fresh off the assembly lines. We had our setbacks, but we kept in there. And here we are, winners. If our title chase ended on a summer's afternoon, it also began on one. The new oil system, the one we designed on the workshop floor in one heck of a hurry, was overfilled and pressurizing into the motor. We knew it would soon clear. The annoying thing was it cost Bondi the lead. He blew Moffat sky high, through the S's with a magnificent piece of driving, but backed off when he saw the smoke. He didn't know what it was. But it wasn't that bad, really. While Bondi settled into third, Rocky latched onto Moffat's tail. It was some struggle. It couldn't last. Someone had to give. But why us? That's what we were thinking as Brocky brought his car in and Moffat scooted away.
Wheel opposition. The battle will obviously resume at Bandstand. The leader back around the mountain circuit.
It wasn't quite back to the drawing boards, but we didn't waste any time in starting to screw new motors together. Bondi's handling worries were no problem. Slide rule references and simple adjustments soon cured them for all time. This oil thing, though, was different. Trouble is, no production motor anywhere is designed to withstand the hammering racing dishes out, and we were having strife getting the special auxiliary systems to hold up. At Phillip Island, we watch as Moffat pits. It's his first scheduled stop. He'll take on a full load of fuel and change all his tyres. Murray Carter, the guy who pushed us hard at Adelaide, slips into the lead. Harry looks for Bondi to go by and take second place, while Moffat's crew work feverishly. Both Bondi and Brocky go past, dropping Moffat from first to fourth. Yes, it happens to all of us at some time or another. Carter leading. 2 stops to come. Bondi, only a minute behind on the road, is well poised to swoop back into first, provided nothing happens, of course. Just when we're getting back on top, Brocky. He's dashed in for a clutch adjustment, and shades of Bondi's Adelaide stop. His takeoff doesn't look too smooth. Not now. Not in this last race. Officials are conferring. They think Brocky might have gone through the stop sign at the end of pit row. He's back in the race, that's the main thing. And now is not the best time to talk to Harry about Brocky and any stop sign. We're hardly getting over this lot when quite dramatically the character of the whole race changes. Jansen is on his way in, but look who's behind him.
There must be something
And it's an
wrong.
unscheduled stop.
The mechanics are looking at the engine. Water, no steam is pouring out. Must be overheating. Probably thrown a film.
Maybe it's our turn for some luck.
This could be serious. Hope it's just a fan belt and nothing more. Be a real pity.
Harry's eyes never leave Moffat.
Throwing out a real challenge.
He has put 2 and 2 together and figured that the Ford is about to quit the race. We know the feeling.
There he goes.
We had it at Sandown.
Back in the race.
So Moffat goes out to an engine failure. But Harry isn't ready to claim victory.
Not quite sure what
Not just yet.
Still there, and the same thing that happened to us. You know, he's not alone there. Did you expect Moffat to last as long? I think you had some doubt that his tyres were going to hold up. The motor tyre stopped, but we reckon he was pushing his car a bit hard.
Well, we never really have cured the oil surge problem. It's something we've been fighting with. Like a lot of other people spend thousands of dollars trying to fix something. What the hell? I knew going in the race it was going to be a slaughter draw.
It runs in cycles. I don't care what anyone says. Moffat out, and now Brocky close to calling it a day. He's obeying orders. If it's not running right, park it. We had no opposition at Bathurst. Moffat, the guy we always watch, was in the pits within a couple of laps. Time trials for him had been a disaster, while for us, everything had gone beautifully. Rocky and Bondi were 1-2 off the start line, and with each lap of this tough mountain circuit, relentlessly drew away from the opposition.
There, and I think we'll leave him stay at this stage of the game because it's not raining hard enough. Warren, bring him in to change.
Maybe, in this fraction of a second, maybe this is where our luck went sour. Maybe that bump shook something loose. This whole thing is full of maybes. It's the cruelest sport I know.
Absolute class above the rest. So great drive from Bruce Heinrich through turn number 18 for the last time. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together for the...
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Calder Motor Raceway, Melbourne. On 105 stations right throughout Australia, the National 9 Network presents the running of the 45th Australian Grand Prix. The crowd has been building here all morning, getting set to witness one of Australia's most exciting days of motorsport in many years. We're expecting a high temperature of 38 degrees, hot off the circuit and even hotter on the track. With me, one of the best-known drivers, one of the best-known motor racing experts in our business, a man who's flown right round the world to be here. Let's welcome Jackie Stewart. Jackie, great to have you back on day 2.
Ken, thank you very much. Well, yesterday for me was a tremendously exciting race. We finished off yesterday's telecast with the Commodore race. It's a long while, Ken, since I've seen motor racing to be as exciting as that. With all the top names of Australia, with Didier Pironi from France in the middle of it, it certainly was one of the most amazing races that I've seen, with behaviour patterns, something left to be desired as far as driver etiquette was concerned, but still good racing. And we're going to start off today's coverage with another event in that line, because this is the second heat, and therefore the points that were counted yesterday will also be added to today, and this promises to be a great event. Tremendous coverage we have here, Ken. In fact, as we can see from our Channel 9 helicopter looking down on this racetrack, I'm amazed. I mean, I cover a lot of races for American television and lots of other people for the BBC over in Britain, but I don't think I've ever seen quite so many cameras sent out around a racetrack to cover an event so well. I think we've got about 12 cameras here, and I don't think one incident yesterday was missed by our cameramen and our production crew. So as a foreigner, I'm allowed to compliment the team. It's not an in-house compliment. It's those men there, the cameraman that you're looking at right now, the cherry picker that's down for the moment. These are the people who are bringing this sort of coverage to motor racing that Australia, I don't believe, has ever seen before. And look at that, we're now looking down on Jack Brabham with one of our cameramen right beside the great Sir Jack, and a pretty lady wishing him all the very best. Jack Brabham, a man that I've raced against so many times, tremendously talented, and one of the great men of motorsport.
As a matter of fact, Jack was telling me that he went straight into the first corner, shut his eyes, and was warned. As a matter of fact, all the drivers were warned that they would have to drive just a little more sanely today. Richards and Pironi, they collided. Pironi spun out and came back into Bumper Jack. Looking forward to the race today, he said. A lot of fun in his own quiet manner. Would have certainly been a little bit more competitive if the cars would have been in Grand Prix, but he said it was fantastic to have a person like Alan Jones here, and it was great to be out here on the circuit and also helping some of the younger people in Formula 2 and also in Formula Ford.
Bruce Heinrich through turn number 18 for the last time. Ladies and gentlemen, put your hands together.
Well, this year's Australian Grand Prix at Adelaide is an historic race as the turbos are phased out, and 1989 will see Formula 1 return to all normally aspirated engines. Rather than wait for history to be created, though, Kenny Sparkes, the owner of more cars than Mr. Honda, went looking for some at Oran Park, where the bicentennial historic 88 races were in action. The first car he came across had some ties with last year's Australian Grand Prix, where the pride of Italy, Gerhard Berger, was a winner in the Ferrari.
The winner was number 12, Gonzalez of Argentina, driving a Ferrari at an average speed of 96 miles an hour.
The year is 1951 and this car has just crossed the line in the British Grand Prix. It's probably the most historic Ferrari in the world today because this is the car that won the first Grand Prix for Ferrari. Today, the proud owner is Gavin Bain from New Zealand. The Ferrari 375 Formula One is arguably the most significant Ferrari in the world today and still treading the tarmac. For the past 20 years, owned and raced by New Zealander Gavin Bain. How does he feel racing this slice of history?
I can't understand the people who just polish them and put them in their sheds. I didn't spend 20 years fixing it to look at it.
So basically to you, you want to be as competitive as possible?
As possible, yes. I'm not terribly competitive, but I have a lot of fun.
The now French Racing Blue 375 towers above the assorted Coopers, Jags and Rileys. On the day, having to settle the 7th outright. You see, he was only circulating on 12 of the 24 spark plugs. Gavin detuned the car because he's a true historic competitor. And all he wanted to do was race. Have you ever been tempted to take it back to the original red?
Yes, but that would have been changing the body style to what it had originally, because when it came to New Zealand, Ron Roycroft put this body on to make it look a little more modern. But this is the way I remember it back in 1955, 56 in New Zealand. Ron was my boyhood hero, and I'm quite proud to have it like he had it.
Historic car enthusiast and collector Kerry Manlis hates talking money, but Italian cars all day long. And his driving force.
Well, I love the history. A lot of these cars, particularly Maseratis, Ferraris, have got a tremendous amount of history, and I love sports racing cars, the road races, the endurance road races, the cars that ran in the Mille Milles, the Targa Florios, the Carrera Panamericana, and the Le Mans endurance races. As against Grand Prix cars, I think the endurance races really appeal to me, the cars that have got great history.
Recently, the bicentennial historic 88 races reopened the pages of motoring history. Down there, planted on terra firma, over $30 million of the creme de la creme of mouth-watering machinery placed tire to tarmac. The roar of real races, as some people describe them, captured the crowd's imagination. The Pride of Australia, Brabhams, Elfins and Redmax showed Britain's Lotus blackened exhaust pipes. David Sharp's Brabham BT29 shimmied into the straight, not to repeat its previous success as the Singapore Grand Prix winner. And the 1969-29 took an early historic 88 shower. Built in Adelaide by Elfin in 1968, Gary Cooper Southeast Asian Grand Prix winner, now in the capable grip of Paul Hamilton, looked a certainty until Bill Marshall's Brabham BT26 powered through the field. You're experiencing Frank Williams' first Formula One car, driven to second in the 1968 Monaco and USA Grand Prix by Piers Courage, and later by the famous Jackie X. Fortunately, Sir Jack Brabham wasn't present to witness Peter Simms' rush of red, as the suspension of Jack's 67 Formula One prototype received a real nut shaker. Luckily, Peter personally reconstructs. Marshall took the checker, Hamilton settling for second. The halcyon days of sports cars returned. Lotus, Jags, Corvettes, MGs and Healeys tore the tar. New Zealand's Paul Lewick's Lister Jag celebrates its 30th birthday, as Australia celebrates its 200th. Although one of Australia's keenest collectors, Paul Samuels, gave away nearly 100cc in the Lotus 15, he tried not to give an inch. The forward momentum stopped for many, including Austin Healey. First, John Dowsett's 104 was left high and dry. Then, the concrete crunch.
Unfortunately, the door came open when I was just proceeding to start the corner, and I lost concentration, and then she moved over towards the bank, and I locked up the brakes and plowed.
Lewich's Lister survived Samuel's Lotus Onslaught, and a car length's win resulted. More sporties rolled out for the Frank Maddich Trophy, and another wide world of sports first as we put you behind the wheel of Australia's sports car sensation of the 60s, the brainchild of South Australia's legendary, the late Gary Cooper, the Elfin Malala. Back in its heyday in kit form, $4,000. Today, no change left out of $70,000. The way owner Stephen Knox, historic sports and racing car president, pedalled showed he didn't have dollars on the brain. And if you think these gems are tired old tarts, Brian Sampson's '68 Chevron circulated only seconds over Dick Johnson's Sierra times. Sambo's classic confrontation with Max Warwick's McLaren again proved they couldn't care how many heart attacks their respective back managers suffered. Historic racing is the fastest growing arm of Australian motorsport. And just in case you think the boys don't have a go, let's flash back to a rear wheel lockup, lose, near paint scrape scrap, which nearly wiped out years of motor racing history, all in the name of historic fun.
I think number 23 has been to the Ken Sparkes School for Driving. I seem to remember Sparksy going backwards a couple of times across the track, but he's found some great old cars there out at Oran Park, and interesting to see the 1951 Ferrari, the one that won the first ever Grand Prix for Ferrari. And remember that in 1987, the Pride of Italy won the Australian Grand Prix in Adelaide.
Things downstairs, hats and caps, plates and prides and all cars, do with much more than automotive.